Hello, girls.
Yo, let's get straight into sweet and sour.
And we are back. Charlie Gold has released more screenshots from this Discord chat that Rachel was having with other reactors and I suppose some viewers of these reactors' channels. And we're going to take a look at them. And also, if you're not caught up with all this drama, I will make a playlist called Girl World Updates. So that's where I'll be putting everything Girl World related. If Girl World is on fire, if somebody's being called out, someone is being exposed, someone is being cancelled, it will all be in there. So you can catch up and have a little watch, have a little kiki. Anyway, let's get into these screenshots quickly. I will note something interesting. So I can see that Hecticana, a reaction channel, is also in this Discord server. So it makes me wonder, like, who has leaked these screenshots? So Hecticana says, "Are you going to give the money to Beck?" The comments were pretty overwhelming in favor of that. Rachel responds, "I don't think so, to be honest. Feels wrong. I can't explain why, but I can see how it's going to be a huge FU to them both being Emily and Amberlyn." Rachel continues, "So I can see the appeal. I might do a poll and then blame it on that. I don't know. But the poll would be Beck. So I think I've got time to think on it." And then she says, "If I do charity, I can write it off my taxes. Ha 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 ha." So this is very interesting because Rachel came on here in her latest video saying that she's read everybody's comments and that she's going to give the money to Beck. And everyone was so happy about that.
I absolutely have received the very clear response that most of you guys think, or the majority of you guys think, that that money should be given to Beck, and I agree. Beck, if you haven't seen their recent community tab post, I'll put it here if you want to pause to read, has been going through an absolutely awful time. They recently had a triple bypass heart surgery, and they're also waiting for results of some stuff that's happening with their lungs that looks like it might be quite serious. So I agree with you guys, and I've decided that giving that money to Beck does feel like the right thing to do, and it sounds like they could really use it.
That wasn't even her intention in the first place. Her decision to do that is not because she thinks that it's right. She thinks that it will look good for the optics. She's going to please the community, the people in the comments. She just wants to do what will make them feel good and not because that's what she wants to do. Because she says that it feels wrong to give the money to Beck. I don't think so. If anyone deserves that money, Beck does because of how much Amber screwed Beck over. Like Rachel said, she was upset that Amber screwed over another partner financially. What was her motivation for trying to get those receipts. But anyway, let's continue. And then someone else says, "I think that's best, to be honest." Um, Rachel responds and says, "It feels cleaner." So as she says, it feels cleaner to give the money to charity as opposed to giving it to Beck. Someone else responds and says, "I didn't understand why people even suggested it until I reread the statement a second time. Both from an accounts and moral point of view, I think a charity with a registered charity number is the best." So this person is saying it's better to give the money to charity, from like accounts, as in Rachel will benefit. She can use it as a tax write off. And then from like an optical moral standpoint, just because you give to charity doesn't make you a good person. I'm so sorry about that. Continuing, Rachel responds, "I don't know why. Yeah, I lean this way also," meaning she leans into giving the money to charity. "But there is something satisfying and petty about giving it to Beck." So her whole motive and incentive of agreeing to give Beck the money was because, one, it will piss Emily and Amber off. It's something petty and it's satisfying for her to see that they are upset. Do you get what I mean? All right, let's move on to the next one. Then Jawbone says, "I'm not suggesting you watch it. It's completely pointless, but Jordy has said that you offering to pay in exchange of tea is not a big deal and isn't sure what the fuss is about. So this should clear the air a bit for you. Fair play to him." And then Rachel says, "Love that from Jordy." But all I'll say is the thing with Jordy is very upfront. Like if he was to pay for information, he would say it. He wouldn't lie. He wouldn't pretend. He wouldn't keep it a secret. He wouldn't be talking in Discord chats like this. He's done messy things before, bringing Eric and Brittany on the platform, sharing um, information that he didn't even look over. And he said himself that he would pay. So we know what kind of reactor or character that Jordy is. But you, Rachel, That's a bit different. You are not going to disclose this information at all. Rachel responds, if Jordy says it's all right, then I'm off the hook. I'll wipe my tears with bank notes. And she said that because of her intention to give the money to charity, get her half of the money, give the money to charity, use it as a tax write off, and get a tax return. These are the new receipts that we have received from Charlie Gold. Let me know. I try to stay as objective as possible, but honestly, this is just very messy. It's just very sneaky, especially the part about who the proceeds from this video goes to. You know, she came here making it out to seem like this was a decision she made, that she actually understood what people were saying, but no. It's just because she wants to piss Amber and Emily off. And even if she did give the money to charity, she's bragging that she's going to use that as a tax write off. So there's that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you there. Bye.